Welcome to the Joy of Coding.
Hello, and welcome to episode 243 of The Joy of Coding. My name is Mike Conley. It's so good to have you here. I'm so excited to hack on Firefox with you today. And it's episode 243. I noticed today, whenever I was sending out the tweet about this, that, we're almost a quarter of the way to 1,000 episodes. What? That is a surprise. That really snuck up on me. Well, congratulations. If you've been with me for a significant chunk of that, or even if you haven't, even if you're just joining, maybe we'll do something special whenever we do episode 245. Maybe, sometimes I wear a funny hat. Maybe I'll wear fun socks. We'll see. All right, let's get started here. Hey, so I've got my agenda set up, and guess what? We're back to Joplin. I was able to get the Joplin agenda synchronization stuff working in the background. So hopefully you have the a link to the agenda, episode 243, which would be here. I'm gonna tell you right now, the agenda. Well, first of all, I'm rambling around. Let me start over. I have sort of a procedure that longtime viewers might recall. So let me just do it. So first of all, welcome to the stream. No plan survives breakfast. Things could go wrong during this stream. Things have already gone wrong. I've kind of gone off the rails here with my introduction. But, this is an unrehearsed, unplanned stream. I kind of know what I want to work on, but things could go wrong. I could get rabbit-holed, and that's okay. That's what we're here for. That's the first. Second thing, the agenda that we're looking at. Like I said, it's being powered by Joplin, thank goodness, because the last couple of weeks I had to go back to Evernote, which has stopped spamming me, which is nice, but I'm still dedicated to switching to Joplin. So if you're looking for a link to the agenda, because it's got lots of handy little links and whatnot for clicking on, then check out the video description. So on Air Mozilla, there's a details panel. That's what it's called. Go to the details panel, because that's where that link is. If you're on YouTube, it's in the video description. And if you are on Twitch, then this is the link I'm going to drop into the live hacking channel now, and that should also go into if synchronization is working, it should go into the Twitch chat, which it looks like synchronization is working, so it should be in the Twitch chat. There's your agenda. Danny Colin hopes that the synchronization stuff is going to survive lunch. Well, let's check. Let's test. I'm going to quickly, lots of work on panels stuff, lots to do. Woohoo. So I'm going to save, and now let's see if this gets updated. Come on. Come on. Is it working? Watching. I'm watching for changes. Yeah, there we go. There we go. It just took a couple of seconds to synchronize. Hooray! So the way that the script works, it's using this fun project called Watchman. So instead, what I was doing before was periodically checking Joplin and saying like, hey, can you tell me what things have changed recently? And it turns out there's a tool that actually makes it easier to watch files on the file system that I'm using. We actually use this in part of our build infrastructure for Mozilla, like for Firefox at times. We also use Watchman for Mercurial indexing. I think Mercurial uses Watchman a lot. So this is a file watching service. It's cross-platform, relatively straightforward to use, and the documentation is pretty good. So I ended up hacking that into the script. So instead of polling and periodically checking for updates, now I just watch for updates to the markdown files, and then it does the markdownification in this conversion to HTML, and then the synchronization to my site here. Anyways, so this is the agenda. Ba-bam. Episode 243. What are we doing today? So let's see. Well, first of all, I think I talked that I'm switching back to Joplin. I am planning on putting the synchronization code once I'm done cleaning it up. It's like I do it in my free time. Once I'm done cleaning it up, I'll put it in the Joy of Coding episode guide repository. The episode guide repository might not be the best place for it, but it's like that is the place where I'm putting all of my like Joy of Coding utilities, so might as well go there. So keep your eyes open if you ever want to have your own sort of Joplin synchronization thing. Maybe you could use it as like a model to build off of, or just use it for inspiration, or learn what not to do by looking at my Python script. Anyways, there's lots to do today. what do we want to work on? First of all, there's a lot of bugs. There are a lot of bugs to work on. And by bugs, I mean like issues to work on for door hangers. So, or door hangers, panels, whatever you want to call them. So that's these things. These are the things that show up various parts of the UI. They open up, they hang around in front of the UI. And there are a bunch of things that we want to do in preparation for Proton, which is the sort of UI reorganization retheme effort that's currently underway. And you can already tell that, like, from between last time I streamed and currently, Proton is trucking along. We've got a new menu, and we've got what else is relatively new? Well, you might even see that some of the permissions, if you've got the right preferences flipped. If you go to like permission.site, you'll notice that like our permissions panels will look slightly different now. We have new buttons. And then like if you, instead of looking at permissions panels, we could look at like, dialogues. We've got new buttons and new looks for some of our things. So like that's what's currently underway. And the plan is to continue working. Oh no, spam. There's spam inside of the stream. If someone with admin powers wants to go ahead and block those people, that'd be lovely. What are we doing today? We're going to improve some more panels, and there's a bunch of bugs that have been filed. There are more bugs to file, but I thought we could tackle some of these today. I also have some things in my review queue that I thought we could look at. So that's what I'm planning on doing. Work on bugs. When I get blocked, switch to review queue. That is the plan. Let's get started. So I'm going to just pick some work that I think we could handle during this stream. Let's look at the bug list. Let's find something juicy. Okay. We're going to update some copy. Now, this isn't like a super like oh man, look at all the fancy engineering. This is string updates. But I think we could bag this pretty quickly. So let's give this a shot. I'm gonna copy the name of the bug. We're gonna put it in our notes. We'll put it here, and I guess if we end up deciding that we want some notes for the bug itself, I'll attach them here. But for now, we'll just do the work without notes. Okay, so we just have a bunch of string updates to do. Let me just read my notes here. Strings for the panel are here. Do not port these strings to Fluent because pop-up notifications powers these strings or powers these panels. This is for the password panels, by the way. So it's pretty tightly coupled to how our old localization stuff works. So instead of trying to refactor that, we're just going to punt, and we're going to deal like with that sort of architectural dependency between pop-up notifications and the old school .properties files. We're gonna move that out. We're not gonna worry about it. So we will not be porting these things to Fluent. We're just gonna update the properties files as is. And anytime we update a string, and unless it's a casing change only, then we have to update the ID. So we're gonna be updating some code that refers to these things as well. And that means we're gonna have to test a couple of these different cases, and we'll see how that goes. Crumpled Wings asks, when will Proton be a toggle option in nightly experiments? I don't know if it will be. I don't know what the plan is there for whether or not it'll show up in nightly experiments. Right now, if you go into nightly and you flip on Proton, what is it, browser Proton enabled, if you set that to true, then you'll get what we have more or less stabilized. And I think currently that's like the app menu. There's a bunch of other stuff that's currently getting to the point of being stable, but they're not behind that pref yet. Soon though, so you can do that. And I don't know if it's going to show up in the experiments panel or the experiment section of about preferences. Good question. So let's update the copy for these password panels. So let's find where they are. Apparently there's this password manager.properties file. Oh, I I spelled it wrong. Properties. And this is not exactly. Oh, this is for Android. I need the desktop one. Password manager properties for. Yeah, this looks more like it. So we're updating this one. We've got how many here? 5, about 9, I think, if I'm counting correctly. 9 of these strings we're going to update. So let's also find the places where the strings are used. So there's a module called Login Manager Prompter that's using at least some of these. Login Manager Prompter. So we're going to open that up. Right. Okay. So we're gonna let's go ahead and update them. We can close the Android versions and let's update these strings. So first one is save login message. So we used to say like, would you like, and then the brand name of the product. In this case, it'd be like Firefox or Nightly if you're on the Nightly branch, to save this login for such and such. And now we're just gonna say save login for such and such, where such and such is the site in question. So I'll go ahead and copy that string, save login, and then we also have to bump the ID, save login message 2, it'll be. And we are also removing, like the prompt is no longer going to format using the brand short name. So I'm actually going to remove brand short name here. And I don't think brand short name is used elsewhere, is it? It is not, as far as I can tell. Okay, so I can get rid of it. And I don't know if brand bundle is used here as well. Doesn't look like it. I can get rid of it. Oh, thank you, Lint. Lint told me I didn't have to use it anymore. And so we've gotten rid of that one. That works. And then there's a similar message here. We're going to get rid of the brand short name as well and just say save password for such and such. And then we'll go ahead and update. Was it save login message no user? Save login message no user 2 is what we called it. So I'll update that one. And I believe those are the only instances of those strings of people using them. Let's just go ahead and double check. That is correct. Although there's a reference here. And it looks like I'm gonna have to update some tests, because it looks like it's actually doing like tests of the strings, which is a little annoying, but good to know that we'll have to run these tests. All right. So next one was save login button deny dot label. Save login button deny. It's only used here in this file, and then elsewhere, yeah, it's just in the one place. So we're gonna go ahead and now something comes to mind. Am I going to need to? Oh man, Login Manager Prompter might be cross-platform. And if that's the case, then as I update the strings, I might have to update the IDs for the Android versions as well. Oh man. Is that true? Maybe not. Maybe not. Login Manager Prompter. Let's look again at the Android versions of these strings, and we'll see who uses them. Update password no user. Remember button. I don't think these strings are used at all. user. I think we might be okay because I can tell that this is not using any of the Android password manager stuff. This is using pop-up notifications. And so I'm reasonably certain we're going to be okay. Show login capture door hanger. Who calls that? Login manager auth prompter. Prompt user enter save auth info. It's used by SeaMonkey Thunderbird, but not Firefox. Well, maybe it's worth briefly checking to see whether or not any of this, how this stuff works on mobile. Mobile. Android. Components. Prompter, is this? No. Mobile. Search the mobile subdirectory for the word password. Gecko view prompt. Password. Oh, okay, so it's using the auth prompt factory. Delegate. Prompt service. Login storage. Bundle. Get string. Whoops. How does this work? Prompt to change password. And then prompt browser dismissed. We say new login. We ask the Gecko view prompter. Aha. So Gecko view prompter is here. And then the Gecko view prompter. Okay, calls into native code, presumably. Okay, so I think we're all right. We're all right. The login manager auth prompter. Or login manager prompter, I think, is only used on desktop. So I think we're okay. Thumbs up, thumbs up. We will continue on. So save login button deny label should be changed to don't save. Now that's with lowercase s. We're changing the casing here, which means because we're changing the casing, we don't have to update the ID actually, because capitalization changes, we leave that up to the individual localizer community, because casing is different from locale to locale. I did never. And then update login message should be changed to update this login. All right, update this login. And so we're going to find the usage of update login message in here. There it is. Just the one. We're going to say update login message 2. Update this login, and then update login message no user should be update this password. We'll bump the ID. And right, we'll update that ID there. And what's this word about? Oh, and prettier is complaining because of white space. People going like, hello, what's up, what's up on the internet. I'm seeing people going, what's up, so hello. Isn't that what you're doing on the internet? What's up, Alperenster? What's up? It's a 90s reference. Or was that early 2000s? I don't remember. Something about a beer commercial. Update login message and username. Message add username should be changed to add username to saved password. Add username to saved password. We'll bump that ID as well. Whoops. Okay, 2 places it's used. We will update it here and here. And what else? Update login message, add username. Add username. Oh, that's the one we just did. And then login button deny. We're going to change the casing here. And then remove save login. We can just update the casing. I should also have assigned this to myself so that no one else works on this. Lol repeat lol goes, hey there. Hey there. Hey there, lol repeat lol. Lol repeat lol. And Alpenster says, I'm 18. That means you probably don't remember the WhatsApp commercial. Okay, so I think that's all of the items on the list. Now, let's see if we can see this in action. Let's rebuild. And then let's take a look. We'll go to a site that has a password form field and we'll see what we can do. We'll see if we can enter all these different states. And then we have to run these tests because apparently there are tests here that we need to update. All right, so try it yourself. Email, and we'll say blah, 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 submit query. Save login. Yep, that's right. And then I can choose save. Don't save and never save. Save. And now if I go like change it, update this login, don't update. Scooby-Doo. Remove saved login. All right. What if I just do this? Save password. Show the password. Ooh, that's my password. Astiv. That's a terrible password. Save. Update this password. Update. Remove saved login. Ooh, wait, shouldn't that have been remove saved password? Never save. We're going to save the password. Update this password. I guess it was always remove save login. All right. Cool. Well, that looks good. It doesn't explode. So there's some traffic inside the channel. Let me read some things. Vince45678, or maybe it's Vink, I don't know, says, do you get to triage bugs on your own? If I filed bugs for Firefox performance issues on PinePhone, then would there be any chance you would investigate/work on them? Can I build Firefox reasonably quickly with an M1 Mac Mini? So I'll answer your first question. You should feel free to file performance issues. There is a performance component, I believe, in Bugzilla. If you go to new and you type in performance, I think it's just core performance. And I believe these are triaged every week, twice a week. Now, the list could be very large, and it's possible that like it might take a week or two to get to your bug in the list. for triage, because I think we only dedicate like a full hour divided over 2 half-hour or 45-minute chunks per week to triaging these performance bugs. But go ahead and file them, and someone will take a look. So you should do that. I can't say that they'll get necessarily prioritized. It really depends. Like, the analysis has to happen first. And then your second question was, can I build Firefox reasonably quickly with an M1 Mac Mini? Probably. I agree with lol, repeat lol. M1 Macs are stupidly fast. Yeah, I believe people have found that they're quite quick at building Firefox. Like, less than 15 minutes is what I heard. So that's pretty good. Vince45678 says, I have 16 gigabytes. You pick from what's been prioritized. I don't know if that's a question. Anyways, let's run this test. Browser door hanger remembering. I have a feeling this test is going to break because of what we identified, which is like it's checking the strings. But let's run the test. Vince45678 says, pick bugs from what's been prioritized and already triaged. All right. Here we go. Running. So the thing is, if any of the strings were missing, say we got the IDs wrong or something, these would explode. Like, these tests are the ones that are going to fall over, because that would cause an exception to be thrown, and our test framework will catch it. All right, so we got some failures, and as expected, it's because we changed a bunch of strings. So I can't say I'm a huge fan of tests that test strings like this, but I don't want to blow out the scope of this change by like updating these tests to not do that. So I'm just going to update the tests to be fixed. So on line, what was it? Line 333. Whoops. It should be add username to save password. And then same thing for line 3388. It's down here. And then line 480. Would you like to update this login? It should be update this login. Update this login. Update this login. And then same thing for 508. Update this login. And then again, 540. Update this login. And then you know what? Let's just do a find and replace. This is ridiculous. Find, replace. Would you like to update this login? To update this login. Or wait, no. 540. Hang on. Update this login. And then update this login ended up being update this password. 540. So maybe this was the last one. Like, I guess there aren't going to be too many more of these, right? Yeah, I already finished them. So there's, would you like to update this password? So much for find and replace, because we already got all of them fixed. To just update this password. Update this password. Save, checking text, save login, for example. Got, would you like nightly to save this login and expected save login? Wait, what? That sounds like it's the wrong way around. Let's check line 644. Yeah, expectation is in the wrong order. Expected text should be Save login. And there's no brand short name. Save login for... I guess I can just do... Save login for example.com. And then on line 1359, that can't be right. 672. Yeah, same dealio. Save password for example.com. And we're going to put the expectation in the right order, because that was not in the right order. All right, let's rerun the test. I'm seeing more lolling. So Danny Colon says lol. And then Vince45678 says Xcode is so awful with memory, you have to upgrade your mini, but Apple appliances are so limited in many ways. Oh, I don't know if I have a comment on that. I don't tend to use Xcode. Add user name, expected add user to save. Did I get that wrong? Save password, save login. It was line 1359. Nope, that's wrong. It was 333. Yeah, it should be add username to save password. Add username, not add user. That is correct. And line 388. That's the one I just did. Line 333. Add username to save password. And then last one here, I guess I missed it, 580. Would you like to update this password? And should just be update this password. Update this login. Update this login. And now I'm going to JS prettier everything, because that's what this file needs. All right, let's run the test. Vince45678 says, you're lucky. Xcode sucks. Oh, sorry. I have no opinions. Xcode, I think I've used it a couple of times. I mainly will use like instruments if I'm trying to get like system profiling information on a Mac OS, on a Mac machine. I used to use it as a front end for LLDB. But yeah, no opinions on Xcode. I can't say I've ever really used it for real development. So let's run the whole test suite. Toolkit, components, password manager, test browser. Toolkit, components, password managers, tests. Let's just run the whole set of tests and see what happens. Update this login. Update this login. Any other anything else I can respond to on the internet while we wait for these tests to run? I guess I could be running them headless, but I thought I'd just poll the floor. This hopefully will not take long, and then we can actually, I'll tell you what, if it's not done in the next minute, then I will cancel and we'll run it headless in the background while we do other things. I see lol repeat lol is typing. Vince45678 says, why do you use SearchFox and not Sublime Text or grep? I do use Sublime Text. I'm using it as my primary editor. I presume you mean, why am I using it to not do fuzzy searching on the names? Sometimes I do use it to do fuzzy searching on the names, but whenever I'm using Sublime Text to search within files, I find SearchFox is actually faster. Plus, SearchFox knows about like how, or SearchFox does a better job of associating symbols within files. So it will link between, function names and their like where they're called to where they're defined, and it also, if I need to, it's a great way to look back in history. It can take me back to see when lines of code were first introduced. And yes, I could do that with Mercurial and annotate, but like, or blame or whatever, but like, it's just faster. SearchFox is faster. And why not grep? Same reason. Grep is just doing text search. SearchFox is much more powerful. It's doing like symbolic association between things like functions and where they're called. Lol Repeat Lol says, loving the new tunes. When are you going to release Update This Login on Spotify? Update this login. Update this login. Though it loses all meaning. I said it maybe 4 or 5 times, and now it's just these sounds that come out of my mouth. Update this login. Update this login. It almost sounds like something out of like one of the Scandinavian countries. Maybe because it's got the word it's got the phonemes like Oggen, and I for some reason associate Haagen-Dazs with Scandinavian countries, except that Haagen-Dazs is an American company that tries to sound like European and fancy by having like the umlaut and the name Haagen-Dazs. So it's an American company. But update the slogan. If I say it fast enough, it makes me sound. It's to me sounds like a Scandinavian like gibberish. Vince says it looks really fast and powerful. Search Fox. I think Visual Studio some plugins can do Search Foxy stuff. This is true. Probably. All right, this is taking too long. So I'm gonna cancel the test run and we're gonna run it in the background headless. And meanwhile, we can post this up for review. Unless it completes in 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nope. All right. So we're going to rerun it in headless, and meanwhile, let's see if we can get patches up for review. Danny Colin says, and that's why, kids, you should do drugs. Sorry, what? No, I didn't say it. Please don't take me out of context. Don't do drugs, kids, unless they're prescribed by your medical professional. Commit. Bug. What was the bug number? Update this login. What was the bug number? Update copy for password panels. Add update password panel. We'll also ask flawed for review. Update this login. Adding 2 logins. 1 user facing in the FXA key. Update this login. All right, that's enough. I think I've milked that joke dry. Vince 45678 asks, "What does our question mark do in the commit message?" And yeah, Lowell Repeat Lowell is correct. I'm requesting review from 2 people, S Foster and Flawed. S Foster, I believe, is the current owner of the Password Manager UI, and Flawed, or one of the developers on it, and Flawed is kind of like in charge of all strings and makes sure that the stuff that we're asking our localization community to do is like gonna work and is reasonable. So we're gonna submit that for review. Update your login. Now let's take another one. How's our test running going? So far, so good. Let's do more work. What else is not assigned? Oh, you know what? I was doing stuff with checkboxes. Maybe we should follow up on that, because I got some review feedback. Let's just take a quick look at the review feedback, see if I can do stuff with that today. A couple things to watch over. Places that override the checkbox styling with CSS may cause unexpected results due to a new default styling. While using system colors should look decent, it is easier to maintain on HCM or Linux. HCM, high contrast mode, or Linux. They may prefer appearance auto. I don't mind too much, but some folks might. System colors aren't necessarily the ideal pick for Firefox web extension themes. Though the situation isn't better with the old native checkbox, so I guess that's fine. Yeah. 3D dark shadow seems fine. 3D shadow is more commonly used, I think, but both are correct colors for borders. Field might be more correct semantically, background of input fields, but button face works as well. Depends how OS is considered checkboxes, buttons versus inputs. If you're going with button face, you'll probably want to use color mix variants for hover and active. See below. Color variants. Checkboxes, checkboxes, default background, Moz accent color, hover background. These are the colors that non-native theme uses under the hood. Color mix syntax is subject to change. We're already using the UI. Has been updating the syntax for us. Oh, lovely. Okay, so we have things we can do. Let's work on this. Now, I actually don't know if I can while these tests are running. Oh, good. We're almost done. And we passed all our tests here. That's good. Just running these other Moki tests. Hopefully this will not take much longer. Vince45678 says, who might be a reviewer for PinePhone? Well, FF Mobile. Related issues. If you happen to know off the top of your head, maybe I'll take a stab and ask for review feedback. So I don't know what PinePhone is. It sounds like some kind of Linux variant or Android variant that maybe... I think I've actually heard Danny Colin talking about PinePhone. I'm not super familiar with it. If it's using a Phoenix... which is the current Android version of Firefox, then there's a GitHub repository where you should file your bugs. If it's for, I think I've seen this, like it's basically desktop Firefox running on a mobile device. I mean, it's a Linux phone running a regular distro, says Danny Colin. So it's running desktop Firefox on a phone. It's desktop Firefox and super slow. Yeah, because it's desktop Firefox running on a phone. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that being pretty slow. Yeah, desktop Firefox is designed to run on a desktop. But if you want to file, the phone is already slow. Sounds right. But if you want to file performance issues, then yeah, core performance is where I'd file them. If you want people to consider them. Although I can't imagine that PinePhone is going to be like, it's going to be highly prioritized or anything. That sounds, if you'll pardon me, it sounds a little niche right now. And unless it suddenly explodes, it's like everyone's got a PinePhone, then I imagine there are other like performance and responsiveness issues that we should be addressing that are like being felt by the broader user population. Lol asks, I mean, wasn't Fennec also desktop Firefox on a phone? No, it wasn't. Fennec was running like Gecko. It was running the rendering engine. But the UI was, before Phoenix and with Phoenix. I mean, it's roughly the same idea, which is that the UI is written in a native layer. Although Phoenix is using something called the Android Components Library, which we developed to make it easier to write browsers and to have like sort of a toolkit of pieces of UI that mobile browsers need to use. Whereas Fennec was just kind of this hodgepodge, hard to maintain pile of native Android stuff. And it was really difficult to maintain it. And so, no, it was not running desktop Firefox. Okay. So we passed all our tests here. That's great. Let's go back to this checkbox thing that I was talking about, and we can take a look and see what it looks like. Let me show you my patch. I'm going to rebase the patch onto Central, and we can take a look at it. Lowell Repeat Lowell says, I see. Thank you. You are welcome. You are welcome. I haven't played any sounds in a while. Let's jam the sound box. Very nice. Why is that so cool? Oh.
What happened? Hey, what happened? What happened?
It's me, Mario.
Very good. All right, so we've We have rebased the checkbox patch. Let's check it out. Let's build it.
How long have we been on this rock? 5 weeks? 2 days? Help me to recollect.
Yeah, pandemic. Actually, no, that's about a lighthouse. But sometimes it feels like I'm in a lighthouse. Although, I guess, technically, I can sort of see people out my window. All right. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. CHAKEEH. A look at these permission panel checkboxes. So, new checkbox. It's larger, it's better. So if you take a look at what we were doing before, let me show you what the current checkbox looks like. Where's permission? It's this kind of tiny guy, and it's blurry on Mac OS. I don't know if this is gonna work. I'm gonna try and do a thing. And I've done it before a couple of times, and I don't think it's broken the stream, but I'm going to... Hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. It's kind of blurry and small. The hit target's rather small. It's supposed to look kind of like a native checkbox on Mac OS, but it's only okay. And so one of the things that we're doing is we are revamping the checkboxes. Larger hit target. Easier to use, cleaner, clean lines. Vince45678 asks, how did you get OBS to record audio on Mac OS X? I didn't. Although I used to be able to do that. I used something called Soundflower, which I don't think is maintained anymore. I think you can tell Mac OS to output audio to a secondary device at the same time, like a splitting device. If you go into like, I think I've done this before. I actually should do this for audio, but like you can go into the MIDI devices, you can tell it to like output to you can create a new type of multi-output device and then output the sound through it, and then it basically splits the signal to your speakers and potentially also into OBS as an input. And so that's what I would do. But right now what I'm doing is I'm playing it out my speakers and my microphone's just close to my speakers. So old school. All right, so big old checkboxes. That looks great, except that I wanted to use meaningful, reasonable colors if a non-default theme is enabled. So these are my like non-reasonable colors that I put in as placeholders. And Tim, that's what I was waiting for, was Tim to give me some idea of some like reasonable colors to use. And he has done that in his commentary. So let us check those out. Checkbox ink.css. And I was like, Tim help, Tim help. He was like, 3D dark shadow seems fine. 3D shadows more commonly used. Both are correct colors for borders. Let's use 3D shadow if it's the more commonly used one. Did you say something about button face? Button face. Field might be more correct semantically, but button face works as well. Field might be more correct semantically. Let's use field. And then for the hover and active cases, hover. What do we have for hover on field? Whoops. See, I get this sometimes. This is, I think, a bug in our in either the server settings for Searchfox or the HTTPS only mode, but like when I initially make the connection for HTTPS, it doesn't like it, and then it makes it the second time. That might actually be a problem with how searchfox.org is set up. Andre Butella says, Buttonface sounds like a mean nickname a dork would make up. Yeah, agreed. Oh man, what a button face. Nice. Then there's field text. Okay. Now what do you have for field hover? Background color, sidebar, body. What would you do for field? Background color, search bar, field. And is there like a hover color? Field hover border color. Then maybe what I'll do is I'll do a color mix in, like he was suggesting, like Tim was suggesting, with like color mix current color and non-native theme. Border color could just be transparent, I guess. Okay. So when it's checked, transparent border. Color, Moz accent color foreground. Whoops. And then active color is Moz accent color. Whenever it's active background, we're going to use this. This is active. And then hover. It's this one. Now we can get rid of these Tim help questions I had in here. Whoops, whoopsie daisy. And we just have this one question, which is, or two questions rather, about like the background color whenever it's checked. Background color, oh, default background should be Moz accent color. Okay. And then there were some questions about field. Whenever you have a field and you hover it, maybe we'll want to do something like this. Color mix. Similar. Current color. How does that work? Oh, it's accent color. I'd like to see this in play. What do we do right now? Moz accent color. Color mix. I want to see examples. Show me the money. Current color 10% transparent. Hover. Oh yeah, let's do this. Let's use this pattern. For hover. And then for active. Do like that pattern. And then we can get rid of these, and then let's take a look at what it looks like. All right. Let's build it. Danny Colin says, hey, wait, since when Firefox supports color mix? So we're using it for parts of the browser UI for theming, and it currently is not implemented for content, only in the browser UI. And that was since a couple of weeks ago. This was a very recent development. Color math. All right, so like this is the Photon theme. Let's enable a non-default theme. Let's see what it looks like. Oof. Not sure I'm a fan. Not sure I'm a fan. I think things have gone horribly wrong here. Some of it looks right. Like that looks okay. Like we're falling back to something reasonable here. Hover, color mix. These two rules, not so good, Al. Let's reread what Ntim wrote. Hover. Let's try the other end of the spectrum. Or let's do it the other way around. Current color. Maybe he got it backwards. That's maybe better. For like the checked state. I think he just got them backwards. So let's do the same thing over here. For the unchecked state. No, still looks wrong, at least for hover. Okay, so what should it be instead? Instead of transparent, I wonder if we had it right before. But instead of choosing transparent as the color we're mixing with, maybe it should be field. The things we do to support all the themes. But it's for you. We do it for you. Look into my eyes. You will see. It didn't change that much. All right, let's look closely. Yeah, it's too subtle. All right, let's try changing the rules a little bit. We'll put a hover on this. Color mix, current color. Oh, you know what? I think what I'm basically saying is mix 10% of field into field. Which, of course, it's not going to show anything reasonable. Like if I said instead of current color, I said red, then yeah, okay, then we mix 10% red in there. So we don't want to use field. What we want to do is mix something 10%. Current color, instead of red, you do like color field text in input fields. What does that look like if I do like field text? And then same for active. Say current color. And we say text. All right. And then let's take off our pseudo classes. And let's see what this looks like. That's a little bit better. That might be what we want to do here. Whoop. And then let's try light theme or alpenglow. Yeah, let's try light. No, that's wrong. That's definitely wrong. Field text, current color. What's current color? Color is menu text. If color was red, yeah, okay, current, that's the problem. Field text, mixing field text 10% into current color. We don't want that. So this is the wrong calculation. This is the wrong calculation. Field is supposed to be the background of an input field. Field text is text in input fields. What I'm saying is I want to mix. Well, maybe color field. Text. And then you mix 10% of field text into field. What do you get? Let's find out. Better. Yeah. Did I do this one? Yeah. And then if I turn on OS dark. field background. So I'm actually going to have to test this probably with high contrast mode on Windows and a couple of others, but this is a good start. So I think I'm going to put this up for review and see what Tim thinks. Current color 10% field, mixing it into accent color. So accent color. Right. Let us see what Tim thinks. And I think then we might call it a day. Well, hold on. Let's do a thing. Let's put this up for review, but mainly so that we can try it on Windows in high contrast mode. I'm eager to see what it looks like on high contrast mode. Submit tip single. And then we're going to pull this patch down on to my Windows VM where I can run high contrast mode. So let's boot up the Windows VM and try it out. Form controls. Can't compromise on the accessibility of them, especially. They got to be super usable, super visible. We want our fancy colors. We want it to look beautiful. But if a user has, for example, high contrast mode accessibility theme turned on Windows, the browser has to still be usable. That's very important. So you can't just hard code colors in. You have to be conscientious. Conscientious. Okay, so let's pull down more recent central. I've been having some pain in my hands. Any keyboard recommendations from JAL97? I don't. I mean, what am I using right now? This is a Lenovo. I think this just came with my workstation. It's nothing special. I've seen people who use like the curved ones that have a break in the middle, and they that seems to be good for them. In general, the rule, at least that I try and follow, I had a ergonomic assessment a couple of years ago, and one of the things that I learned from that is to try and have like every limb be at 90 degrees. So if you are look at your hands and look at your wrists, make sure they're straight, make sure that they're at 90 degrees. And what's going on in this waiting for a lock? Come on. Held by process 2384. Who's that? Who's 2384? Are there some hidden... Oh, all users. What are you talking about? Held by process 2384. Who's 2384? I don't know what you're talking about. Let's try that again. Waiting for a lock. Held by process 2384. Kill 2384. I don't think I can do that from here. All right, well, I guess I'm restarting my VM. One sec. Vince45678 says, at a very high level, how would you start making Firefox on the PinePhone faster, more optimized experience? Okay, let's do that as a thought experiment to close this out. So what we basically have here is a graham cracker that we're trying to run the desktop browser on. I think the first thing I would think about is what can we not do? You know, stripping away things. The fastest code is the code that does not run. So what can we strip away? Maybe there are parts of the UI that we can disable if we detect that we're on a PinePhone. Maybe there are various components that we can disable. Maybe we can shrink libzool, which is the large DLL that we load. Or I guess it's not a DLL on Linux. It'll be .so that we load. Maybe we can shrink that down so that there's less to read off the disk. Maybe... let's see. Strip fission. Good luck. I mean, if process launching is going to be a problem on mobile anyways, what I would do is I would try and, you know what would be easier than trying to make desktop Firefox work on a PinePhone? Make Phoenix work on PinePhone. Try and port Phoenix so that it works on the PinePhone. That would probably be better. I think that is a much more tractable problem, I think, than trying to squeeze desktop. It's like trying to run desktop Firefox on a phone it's a recipe for disaster. We've already done a lot of work to try and optimize Phoenix. And so that's where I would start, actually, is trying to port Phoenix to the PinePhone. Hope that answers your question. All right, let's see if we can... What are you talking about? 2384 held by process? What? Is it? You know what? I'll bet you there's some kind of lock file here. Like a wlock. Who has wlock? Yeah. Forget about it. I'm getting rid of that wlock file. I didn't need to do that restart anyways. It sounds like we were just... Someone thought we had a lock. Someone took a lock and never released it. It was probably me. Boy, I did not expect this part to take the long... this was like a quick and dirty little tag on the end. I just want to see what the checkboxes look like in high contrast mode. Woo-wee. Now, my VM is not powerful, but it gets the job done. PinePhone. Let's... PinePhone. What are you? An open source smartphone supported by all major Linux phone projects. Oh yeah, that's... You're gonna have a bad time. You're gonna have a bad time trying to run desktop Firefox on this thing. You're running it off of a micro SD? Ah. Or wait, no, you're just booting off of a micro SD, I guess. Still, disk access on a mobile device is not amazing. Yeah, I think people have made Phoenix run on desktop before. Port, not porn. Port, Firefox for Android to Linux. Run Mozilla Phoenix on Linux. To add... Oh, there's this meta bug from 2 years ago. Wayland. I wonder, someone was able to get run Firefox on Chromebook, and I think the way they did that, link support, enable Flatpak, and then install Firefox from there. Okay, no, that wasn't how they did it. Someone was able to get, like, I think Firefox for Android running on desktop somehow. Okay, anyways, checkbox time. Checkbox time, checkbox time, patch. Ribbidoo-bidoo-bidoo-bidoo-bidoo. Okay, it's going to get it. And then we're going to build artifact. Come on, VM. Come on. Applying it. Holy smokes. So yeah, the VM, underpowered, I'm afraid. Okay, here we go. Mock build faster. Let us get ourselves this, let's get ourselves this artifact build. Vince says, feels like my phone. The VM? Yeah. What is the best way to view your stream in your opinion? Twitch has the chat box, YouTube doesn't. There's also this weird Matrix bridge thing. What's the best way to view the stream? However you prefer. Like, I just try and like broadcast as many channels as possible. So I'm broadcasting to Air Mozilla, YouTube, and Twitch. If you prefer Twitch, that's fine. I'm bridging Twitch to the Twitch chat to the Matrix live hacking back channel so that I can see people talking. That's where the bridge leads to. So people in the live hacking Matrix back channel is where that's where I am. That's where the chat, I like to try and keep the chat. So if there was a way to bridge like YouTube chat to Matrix, maybe I'd turn it on and so people could chat there. All right, so we're going to turn on browser Proton enabled. And we're going to say browser Proton door hangers enabled. And we're going to restart. And let's go to permissions.site. Jack Newman says, thanks for the assistance last week with the Ubuntu Linux issue. Did it get fixed? Did you find out what the crash was? I can't remember how that turned out. Am I on the internet? Server not found. Permission.site. Am I on the internet here? What is going on? Something seems super broken here. It's like it was networking took like forever to get going. I wonder what that was all about. All right, anyways, microphone. Here we go. We got our checkbox. Hooray! Now let us turn on the high contrast mode. Just give us a sec. Jack Newman says that the crash was a bug that was fixed at some point. Oh, good. Now, I'm not too jazzed about... Okay, so that's definitely readable. And I think that's using the right look, but the hover state appears to be not great. Hover is all wrong here, I think. Okay. Let us open the toolbox and see what we can do. Nope. Come on now, where was I just... I'm saying, like, choose the checkbox. Quit moving around. All right. Panels. Here we go. Checkbox. That took longer than it needed to. Okay, so rules. We're going to say change to hover. And what we're saying is current color, Moz accent color. Now, what is the current color? Moz accent color foreground. So if I was like accent color foreground, that's the same. Current color. So in this particular case, accent color foreground is Moz accent color foreground is the used for the checkbox, I thought. Checkbox check color, Moz accent color foreground. Red, green. So like, what's going on here? The background color, not set, so color. Background color. Okay. Color mix in sRGB. Green, red, 10%. No. White, black. All right, I'm gonna need NTim's help here, I think. I don't know why the background color isn't working in this case. The color mix is not working in high contrast mode. We're gonna have to find out why, but I'll have to do it another time. Hey, thanks for watching episode 243 of The Joy of Coding. I hope that was interesting. We were able to get the copy updated and a patch up for review, and then we started looking at color mix for checkboxes, for retheming the checkboxes. And I answered some questions, and what else happened? I don't remember. But thanks for watching. I hope you had a great time. And I will see you next week. Let me know what you thought of this episode. There's a rate this episode link here in the agenda. Once again, I will drop the agenda link into the chat for the folks on Twitch. And let me know what you thought. And I will see you next week with The Joy of Coding episode 244. Presuming I stream next week. Who knows? Sometimes things get in the way. But next episode will be episode 244, and I will see you then. So with that, have yourselves a great week. Take care. Bye-bye.
The joy of coding.
See ya.